Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Earlier this month, NHL 21 added the NHL's new reverse retro jerseys to the game for each team. In today's video, I'm going to take a look at each reverse retro jersey, discuss my opinion of them, and give them each a ranking of good, okay, and bad. Just remember that these are strictly my opinions based on my preferences when it comes to sports uniforms. Without further ado, let's take a look at the new reverse retro jerseys. First up, we have Anaheim. For Anaheim, I'm going to give this reverse retro jersey a rank of okay. My reason being is this style is just not really my preferred style of a jersey. It's not a bad jersey by any means. I like the jersey itself. It's not my preference for jersey type. So for me, Anaheim gets an okay. But I do like the throwback colors. I like the logo. You know, it's just not my style. So Anaheim gets an okay. Next up, we have Arizona. And like with Anaheim, I'm going to give Arizona an okay as well for the same reasons. It's just not my preferred style of jersey, but I do think it's very interesting. I think it's very unique. I do like the colors. I do like, that it's a different color than what we're used to seeing with Arizona. But just the style, I'm more into traditional type jersey styles. And like Anaheim, this Arizona jersey, they're both just a little wacky looking to me. And that's not a bad thing. It's kind of cool in its own way, but it's just not my preferred style, so I can't give it the good ranking. I have to stick with the okay. Next up, we have Boston. And Boston, I'm going to give them a ranking of good. I really like this jersey. I like that it's yellow as opposed to black like their home jerseys and black like their alternate jerseys. I like that it's yellow. It's a change of pace. Black and yellow is just such a unique color scheme. It's a lot you could do with it, and I feel like to not have an all yellow jersey would be a waste. So I really like the Boston reverse retro jersey. It's definitely going to get a rank of good. I like the style. It's a little more traditional than the previous two. I like the logo. It's funny, the logo almost looks like a basketball when you look at it closely. But no, I like the reverse retro jerseys for Boston a lot. I like the colors, I like the style. They definitely get a rank of good. Next up, we have Buffalo, and Buffalo is definitely going to get a rank of good. I love everything about this jersey. I like that it's white. I would love to see a blue version of this reverse retro jersey, but I do like the white. I love the way it says Buffalo on the waistline. I love the logo. I like the sleeve stripes. Everything about this jersey I like. I even like the gray mixed in. I think it adds just a little bit extra to the jersey, the gray on the bottom of the waist. And I think there might be some on the sleeves. It's hard to see, but it's definitely there on the waist and on the socks. But this is a very cool jersey. I like it a lot. Buffalo definitely gets a rank of good. Next up is Calgary, and Calgary is definitely ranked good. 100%. These are awesome jerseys. Love the black, red, and yellow. I think it fits Calgary perfectly. The logo is awesome. It looks like a bull with flames coming out of its nostrils. Just a very awesome looking jersey. I think they did a good job with it. I almost like it better than their standard uniforms, to be honest. Definitely a cool jersey for them, and they definitely get a rank of good. Next up is Carolina, and Carolina's reverse retro jerseys are a little bit of a mystery to me. The reason I say that is because they are pretty much Hartford Whaler jerseys. And I don't know all the history here, but from what I do know, I believe the Hartford Whalers were a minor league team for the Rangers back in the day. And I'm not sure how Carolina ended up with these jerseys as a reverse retro jersey. Maybe that team moved down to Carolina and became the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm not 100% sure. So it's hard for me to say specifically how the two franchises are tied together. But that being said, the jerseys I like. I do like the jersey. I like the style. I like the colors. But I have to give it a rank of okay because, like I said, I don't know the history of how they came to be Carolina's reverse retro jerseys when they are basically the same jerseys that the Hartford Whalers used to wear. So because of that, I'm giving them a rank of okay. Love the jerseys, just don't know how they fit into the Carolina Hurricanes. Next up is the Chicago Blackhawks. The Chicago Blackhawks already have one of my favorite uniforms in the NHL. I love their home and away jerseys, and I definitely love their reverse retro jersey. Their reverse retro jersey gets a rank of good. I love everything about it. I love the black alternate to the red home jersey. I love the alternate logo. I like the red shoulders, the red sleeves. It's just a very nice looking jersey, very badass looking. I like the socks to match. It's just a very awesome jersey. I think Chicago did a great job with them, and I think it stays kind of true to the traditional style that Chicago already has with their jerseys. So they definitely get a rank of good. Next up is Colorado. And Colorado, I have to give an okay. I almost gave Colorado a bad ranking, but I think I'm going to stick with okay. It's not terrible. It's just a little, like with Arizona and Anaheim, it just doesn't do much for me. The logo is a little weird. I guess it's supposed to be an A. I don't know if that's an older logo. I'm not a Avalanche expert, so I could be mistaken and it's actually a great logo, but to me, I don't recognize it and it just looks a little weird. The symbols on the waistline are okay. I think they're kind of random, but overall the jersey's just okay. I almost gave it a bad. This was almost my first bad ranking, but I think it's going to get an okay. Next up is Columbus, and Columbus is going to get an okay. I do like the red color scheme. I like the old school Columbus logo. Otherwise, it doesn't jump at me, the jersey. I don't look at it and I don't go, wow, that's awesome. So for that reason, I'm just going to give it an okay. But I do like that it's different from all their other jersey schemes. I'd be very disappointed if it was another blue jersey. If it was another blue jersey, unless it was really cool, it would probably get a bad, simply because everything they have is pretty much blue. So the red is a nice change of pace. I like the socks. The socks are a little weird, how there's the 3 white stripes and then just the 1 blue stripe on the bottom, but not in between the top 2 white stripes. It's a little unproportional, which is okay. I mean, I typically like things a little more symmetrical, but that's just me. Sometimes it's cool. In this case, I don't really think it's that great on the socks. Not horrible, but not great. So for that reason and all those reasons, I'm going to give Columbus a rank of okay. Next up, we have Dallas. Now, I don't believe this is going to be a popular opinion, but I absolutely love the Dallas reverse retro uniforms. I've always been a sucker for a good whiteout uniform, and that's basically what this is. It's a straight-up whiteout uniform. Everything is white, primarily from the socks, the pants, the jersey, the gloves, the helmet. It's just a complete whiteout package. And I really like that. I really do. I like that there's just enough green in there to take away from all the white, but I am just a sucker for a good whiteout jersey. So I think this jersey is awesome. I would have even liked it if the bottom portion of the jersey underneath the outline of the giant star was green. I think that would have been cool too, but I'm happy with it the way it is. I really like the whiteout look. I think it's so sick looking. So Dallas is definitely going to get a rank of good. Next up is Detroit, and this is the easiest one, I think, on this entire list. These are absolutely bad. Absolutely horrendous. I don't know what they were thinking with this jersey. This jersey screams laziness to me. That's what this feels like, very lazy. It's just so bland and so boring, and it's just bad. It's just really bad. Just a one random gray stripe on the waistline and the gray stripe on the socks, and that's pretty much it. I've never been a big fan of Detroit's uniforms, period. I think they're also very bland and boring, but for something like a reverse retro jersey, you think they would add a little spice to it, make it interesting, make it unique, but no, I mean, this is just, it's boring and it's lazy. That's what this jersey screams to me. So I'm definitely going to give Detroit a rank of bad for their reverse retro jersey. Next up, we have Edmonton. Now, my initial ranking of Edmonton was bad. Now, it's not because the jerseys are bad. The jerseys are nice. I like the jerseys. My initial ranking of bad was because they just feel like another alternate jersey or an away jersey to me. But after sitting on it for a while and looking at it again, I definitely can't give it a bad. I'm going to give it an okay. I'm not going to give it a good because it's just too similar to their regular style jerseys. It doesn't have that unique aspect that I would like to see from something like a reverse retro jersey. But at the same time, I can't give it a bad like I originally planned to, because it's really not bad. It's really a nice jersey. I like the style. It just felt too similar to their other jerseys for me to give it a good. But I definitely can't give it a bad, so I'm going to stick with okay for Edmonton. Next on the list is Florida. And for Florida, I am going to give Florida a rank of good/okay. The reason it's not just a good is because it feels just like their old style uniform. They got that throwback logo, which I do like. I like that it's blue. It's just too similar to their old uniforms to give it a pure good. But it's a very nice jersey, well designed. It's got some uniqueness to it, especially in the sleeves. The stripes on the sleeves are kind of in a triangular shape, not your standard just wrapped stripe sleeve. So I do like that. It gives it a little extra. It's just too similar to their original, or not original, but previous uniforms, that I can't give it strictly a good. So I'm going to stick with a good/okay for the Florida Panthers. Next up, we have Los Angeles. And for Los Angeles, I have to give it an okay. They're nice. I like them. But like others, I think they missed the mark a little bit. Why they went with yellow, I don't really know. I know that the Los Angeles Kings color scheme used to be black and purple and silver. So I'm okay with the purple. I'm not sure why they went with yellow. If I had to guess, I'm guessing it's something to do with the LA Lakers using their color scheme, and I'm not really crazy about that. What I would have rather liked to see from them would be more along the lines of a throwback towards their days where their colors were black, purple, and silver. I think that would have been a lot cooler if you do that color scheme with kind of a modern design. But they didn't do that. They went with Lakers colors. I get it. LA Lakers, LA Kings. I'm assuming that's kind of where this came from. And again, the jersey is nice. I like it. I don't hate the design. I don't hate the style. I just would have liked to see more of the traditional old color scheme of the LA Kings instead of the yellow. But it's not terrible, so it gets a rank of okay. Next up, we have Minnesota. Minnesota is going to get a rank of okay/bad. I think the one thing saving this from being just bad is maybe the yellow mixed in there. I think if it was just the green and white with that design, it would probably be just a bad. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this. It's just boring. It's kind of boring. It's not the most boring I've seen, but it's a little boring to me. Definitely not the worst I've seen. I think I might have liked it better if instead of yellow they used red, because there is red in Minnesota's color scheme. I think like a bright red instead of the yellow would have been really nice, and would have made it a little more interesting. But it's not horrible, so I'm going to stick with a rank of okay/bad for the Minnesota reverse retro uniforms. Moving on, we have Montreal, and Montreal is definitely a good in my opinion. I love the Montreal reverse retro uniforms. What I really like about it is they reversed the colors. They made blue the primary, red the secondary, and white the kind of outline color like it typically is. I really like that. I feel like the reverse retro jersey from Montreal being blue is the perfect alternate to the red home jersey. I think it just works really well. I like the all blue. I mean, everything from the socks, the pants, the jersey, the helmet, the gloves, everything's blue. I think it's really good looking. I think it's a great job on Montreal's part. They definitely get a rank of good for their reverse retro jersey. Next up is Nashville. Nashville definitely gets a rank of bad for their reverse retro jersey. The reason for this is because when I look at this jersey, I just feel like they took an old jersey that they used to have, that they used to wear from another year, and just called it a reverse retro jersey. It's not a bad uniform. It just feels like they took an old uniform and called it reverse retro. And I with this kind of reverse retro trend going on, I would like to see something more unique that hasn't been seen before. So for that reason, I have to give Nashville a rank of bad for their reverse retro uniform. Moving on, we have New Jersey. And for New Jersey, I'm definitely going to give New Jersey a rank of good on these reverse retro uniforms. Now, I'll be perfectly honest. At first glance, I thought that these were red and black. Now that I'm looking at it further, I can't tell for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's red and green. It's hard to tell on the jersey selection screen. I'm sure in-game it would be a lot easier to tell, but looking at it now, the longer I look at it, I do think it's green, not black. It's just a dark green. And either way, green or black, I love these jerseys. I think it's very good looking. It's got that traditional style with all the stripes. One critique I would have is the socks. Just like I had mentioned on a previous team, I forget which team specifically, but you have 4 white stripes and only 1 set of red stripes on the socks. I'd like to see a little more symmetry there, but sometimes a lack of symmetry is interesting. But I do like them a lot. I like them a lot. I would like them if they were black and red. I'd like them if they're green or red. They're just a very good looking jersey in my opinion. So jersey definitely gets a rank of good. Next up, we have the New York Islanders, and the New York Islanders reverse retro jerseys are just bad. They're bad because it literally just looks like an outdated version of their home uniforms. When you scroll through the uniforms menu, I feel like this is something I would see from a previous year. It doesn't feel like it has any unique qualities. It just looks like an older styled jersey or older version of their jersey. It doesn't look like anything new, doesn't look like anything unique. I think they've had much better alternates in their past. So for me, it's just too blah, too boring, and I'm going to give it a rank of bad. Next up, we have the New York Rangers, and the New York Rangers, I have to give a rank of okay. I really like the uniform. I like it a lot. I just can't give it a good because I feel like they just missed some opportunities because it just feels a little boring. I'm not sure why. I look at the body of the uniform and it just looks very bare. Maybe it's because the stripes on the sleeves are so thin. I don't know. Maybe that's why. But the body of the uniform just looks very bare, and I feel like they missed an opportunity to make this a little more flashy in a way. Maybe that's not what they were going for. Maybe they wanted a more, mellow look. But personally, I think it could have used a little bit more. But definitely not a bad jersey at all. I like it a lot. I just can't give it a rank of good, so I'm going to say okay for the New York Rangers reverse retro jerseys. Next on the list is Ottawa, and for Ottawa, I have to give the uniforms a rank of okay. They really feel like just red alternates to the home jerseys. Basically the same jersey, just color is swapped. And for some reason, I can't quite put my finger on it, but something about it just seems a little more plain than the regular home uniforms. So that's why it's going to get an okay. Good uniform. I like the uniform. I actually like the fact that Ottawa made black the primary color. I thought that was interesting, but it works. I like that jersey for them. And I do like the reverse retro, but it's just a little too blah to be able to give it a good. I think if they had added some white into it, like white outlines for all the black stripes, I think that would have set it over the top, and I would have been able to give it a good. But based on how it is now, I have to give it an okay. Next up is Philadelphia. For Philadelphia, I'm going to give the reverse retro jerseys a rank of good. What I like about the Philly uniforms is they used all three colors. As I was just saying with Ottawa, I think for Ottawa's reverse retro, they missed out by not having white in there to kind of break up the black and red. Philly did just that. They have the white piping separating the orange of the body from the black of the shoulders. I've heard that some people don't like the white sleeves on the lower portion of the sleeve. I don't mind it. It's not the best design I've seen, but I definitely don't hate it. I do like it. It works for me. Almost makes the forearms kind of look like they're in a gauntlet, which is kind of cool. But I think that's what separates a jersey like Philly's reverse retro from Ottawa's reverse retro, and a couple others that we've looked at too. It's just that third color. I'm a big fan of three colors in a uniform: a primary, a secondary, and then a third color for accents, just like the Philly jersey has in the white with the piping and the sleeves and so on. So I think that's why Philly gets the rank of good for me. Moving on, we have Pittsburgh. And for Pittsburgh, I have to give a ranking of bad. I think Pittsburgh missed an opportunity. In this case, I don't think Pittsburgh benefited from making their reverse retro jersey white. It works for some teams. It worked for Dallas. It worked for Buffalo. I don't think it works for Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh would have benefited from sticking with one of its primary colors, not a white. It's hard to put my finger on exactly what bothers me about it. It just doesn't look good to me. Like when I look at it, I'm just like I'm not really affected. I'm not really excited when I see it. It's just kind of blah. I think they should have used either a black or a yellow as the primary color, and I think it would have came out better. Not saying with this design, I think even if they did this design with a black or yellow as a primary color, I still think it would have been lackluster. It might have been an okay instead of bad, but the way it is, I have to give it a rank of bad. I'm not a big fan of it. Next up, we have San Jose. I'm a big fan of San Jose's uniforms all around. I like their home. I like their away. I like their alternates. And I really like their reverse retro jersey that they came out with. San Jose definitely gets a rank of good. I am a big fan of gray alternate uniforms for sports teams, not just hockey, but football. I really like gray as an alternate uniform color, and I think San Jose made the right move here, as opposed to just doing another jersey that was either white or their teal green or black. I think they made the right move by going with the gray. But what I like about it is it's not too gray. They got every color in there. They got their gray, they got their teal green / blue, the black. They really did a good job of incorporating all their colors, and I like the design. It's not a traditional design, but it's a design that I like. It's kind of got a more modern or maybe exotic look to it, flair to it. It's not your standard traditional horizontal striped jersey, and I really like that. So San Jose definitely gets a rank of good. Next up, we have St. Louis, and St. Louis is going to get a rank of okay. I'm not really sure where they got the red from. I don't know if St. Louis used to have red in their color scheme. I know they don't now. If they do have red in an older color scheme, then it makes a lot of sense. If it never had red, it's definitely pretty random. But like I said, without me knowing whether or not it did have red in its color scheme at one point, it's hard for me to judge that. Based on what I know of their current color scheme, the red definitely seems random. It's not terrible. It works. I kind of like the slanted stripes on the body of the jersey. It's a little break from the traditional horizontal stripes. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't wow me, but at the same time, I don't sit there and hate it. I don't think it's boring. I don't think it's bland. It's okay. So, final ranking for St. Louis is okay. Moving on, we have Tampa. For Tampa, I have to give them an okay as well. I like the jersey. The reason I have to give it an okay is it kind of has a vibe of it's just a previous jersey. Now, I don't believe it is. It looks very similar to older Tampa Bay jerseys. I don't think it is an exact older jersey. I think they made a new jersey just in a similar style to how their jerseys used to be. But it's a little, I don't know. It just gives me that old jersey feeling. But I do like it. It's definitely closer to the okay good than it is to the okay bad. It's interesting that the pants and gloves appear to be black. I do kind of like that because since they went with mostly blue and white on the body of the jersey, I do kind of like that they went black with the pants and gloves. And the one white black stripe on the bottom of the waistline of the jersey, I do think that came out good. So I'm going to give Tampa a rank of okay. Next up, we have Toronto. In Toronto, I'm going to rank as okay. What I do like about Toronto is I like the outlined logo, but it's not a full color. It's just the outline. I do like that. Kind of like a sunken logo. I like that they kept it simple, but in a unique way, if that makes sense. The jersey is not very busy. It's not very over the top, but it's not your standard triple stripes or double stripes that you typically see in hockey jerseys. It's got the full shoulder and sleeve, stripes, I guess you can call them. I do like that a lot. It's a little on the bland side, but it works for this jersey. It works for their color scheme. They don't really have. They're kind of a two-color team. They don't have a third color, an accent color. It looks like this is more of a gray than a white, but it does work for them given the fact that they're a two-color team. So I like it. I can't give it a good. I'm going to give it a final rating of okay. Next up, we have Vancouver, who has some of my favorite uniforms in the NHL. I really like their color scheme. I like the royal blue with the bright green. I think it's just a really cool color scheme. This is not going to be a popular opinion, I don't think, but I really do like the Vancouver reverse retro jerseys. I actually like the gradient in this uniform. I'm not always sold on gradient color changes in uniforms. For example, I'm not a big fan of it in the Los Angeles Rams number font for the NFL, but in this particular case, I do like the gradient change from blue to green. I like the way it fades in. I think it works because, the body of the jersey matches the sleeves perfectly because you have the blue center, the green on top, and then the green on the bottom of the sleeves. And I think if they just kept the body of the uniform completely blue, it would have worked. It would have looked okay, and it still would have been a great uniform. But I think fading it into green to match the lower portions of the sleeves really works. I do like it a lot. And then the socks, they're pretty simple, but I do like them. I just really like the design of the jersey top as well. I like how the sleeves come to a point near the wrists. I think it's a very unique design, and I like it a lot. I am going to give the Vancouver reverse retro jerseys a ranking of good. Next up, we have Vegas, and I really like what Vegas did with their reverse retro uniforms. I am going to give them a ranking of good. What I like about these uniforms is that they didn't go back to a color that they already use in all their other uniforms. What they did was they took one accent color that all their other uniforms feature and made it the primary color, which is red. I like that a lot. I think it's, it shows some creativity instead of just repeating the same old color schemes. Obviously, the color scheme is the same, but the body of the uniform, the main primary color, is different, and I like that. I think it would have been wasted if they made it either the gray, the white, or the gold, which they already have. Maybe if they had done a black primary color, it might have worked, and it still would have looked good, but I'm glad they went with red. It's one of their colors. It's not out of left field, and it just seems like the logical choice for something like a reverse retro jersey. I also really like the new logo that they have on this uniform. I think it's really cool with the crossing swords, and I guess that looks like a star, some kind of star. But I like it a lot. I like what they did. I like the pattern of the stripes on the body and the sleeves. All in all, I think they did a really good job with this. Definitely going to give Vegas a ranking of good. Let's move on to Washington. I really like what Washington did. I think they nailed it with their reverse retro jerseys. I'm going to give them a rank of good. I like that they brought back the old logo. It's an awesome logo. I like what they did with the slanted stripes on the body of the uniform near the midsection. I like how they switched to blue on the bottom. I like the font they chose for the word capitals. I think they really did a good job with it. I like how the lower portion of the sleeves matches the lower portion of the jersey on the body. All in all, Washington did really good with this. Also, the socks, they matched the socks to the pattern of the uniform almost perfectly. It just flows. The socks are an imitation of the jersey itself. I like that a lot. I like the uniforms a lot. I am going to give Washington a rank of good. And finally, we move on to Winnipeg. Winnipeg, I give a rank of good. I really like the Winnipeg reverse retro uniforms. I like what the Jets did here with the dark gray instead of a light gray. Usually with an alternate gray uniform, it's usually like a lighter gray. I like that they kind of went with a carbon gray or a charcoal gray. I like that they separated the gray and the blue with white piping to kind of make sure it stands out. I think the two colors are too similar to where if you didn't have that piping, it would look off. It would just look like it was all blended together. I like the white tip at the waist. I like the socks, how they went with the gray socks since the pants are blue. I really like what Winnipeg did here. I'm always going to have a soft spot for a gray alternate uniform. I like the logo that they used. All around, I think it's really good. I give Winnipeg a rank of good. And that's going to do it, guys. That is every reverse retro jersey added to NHL 21, one for each team. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please, down in the comments, let me know what you guys think about all the reverse retro jerseys. Let me know if you agree with my rankings of all the reverse retro jerseys. I'm very curious to see what you guys think of them. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, as it really helps the channel grow. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you guys next time.